Um, so this little video session was scheduled so that you guys can understand how to actually use the indicator that has been developed, and for you to know what is the foundation of this whole thing.
अच्छा अच्छा जोरा और one second just record your
I'm
meeting now.
recording it. Yeah, I'm
हाँ
recording it.
perfect perfect
Perfect.
perfect perfect हाँ.
Okay. So this meeting is scheduled solely for the purpose of this one. I'm not well. I have like a cold, bro. So I'm going to be sneezing away. Yeah. Okay. So this meeting was scheduled for the purpose of This meeting was scheduled for the purpose of teaching you about the ZS market dynamics indicator and what it's actually based on. Now, you see the lines on the screen. There are no other indicators on the chart apart from this divergence one. And for now, I will hide this too. So the purpose of these indicators is there's a whole concept on this called market profile. So if I was to ask you, if say in this case, in this day, okay, like say like from the 15th of Feb on the 16th of February, basically for the whole day, if I was to ask you, how would you refer to this day in one particular average price, right? So you may wonder it might be the average price, or you might take something like high plus low plus close by three or something like that. There are different methods to do these things. But if you really try and understand, the market is a place which exists solely to facilitate the auction process between buyers and sellers. That is, its only purpose is to let the buyers and sellers come to a common point of understanding where they can exchange of securities. And this eventually became trading, where we try and profit of this by finding certain, inefficiencies in the market from which we intend to capitalize on. So in a marketplace now, during the day, there's a lot of buying and selling activity that keeps occurring at different prices because different buyers or sellers perceive different fair value. Now everyone has their own perception of the market, but in a day, when the market, like once the market is at the end of the day, what you will realize is there will be a particular price at which where maximum trading activity would have occurred. I will just open a book. There's a book on this. Okay, so there, can you guys see the book? So there is an entire book on this concept. There are books
Yeah.
on this concept, and I learned about this from here itself. And he talks about the market profile, and he talks about all sorts of things on knowing how to trade the market profile. So, well, come here. I'll come to what is called the money zone. Okay, so in this book, this guy Franklin Ochoa is the author of this book. He talks about this concept of market profile, where, or you can also call it the money zone. That is where you will see where 70% of that is where you will see 70% of all trading activity has taken place. Now, even though we might think that market activity is random and it's baseless or whatever, you will realize that even to this whole random list is actually quite a degree of order, and there's a lot of order and stability, even though we perceive it to be so erratic. So in the book, this is what the market profile structure is actually. This is actually the how it is mathematically calculated, where a certain price, if it's traded, a letter will come against it, and as that price is and as time progresses, mm, as trading activity occurs more and more, the prices at which maximum trading activities occurred are documented. and the price at which maximum trading activity has occurred will become something called the point of control. You see, this forms something like a bell curve. In this bell curve, the region where 70% of all trading activity has occurred is called the value area. So in essence, whose mic is this? Please mute it. One second. Yep. Sarsh, I had to mute you because your mic. Okay, fine. Sorry about that. Now, you see the market profile will form this bell curve, and the price at which maximum trading activity occurs is called the point of control. And a region where 70% of all trading activity occurs is called the value area. So this was actually the old way this was done. Now, in terms of charts, this thing is mathematically calculated. There is a formula for it, and we applied it into code. So if you will see, if I come to say any day, let's look at this day. Now, for this particular day, this was the developing point of control. This is the line that will basically keep updating real time as all market trading activity occurs. This will become the value area high, the developing value area high as all market activity is occurring. And this will become the developing value area low as in how the market keeps updating real time. This is all real time values. When that particular day finishes, these values will become the static values for the next day. So this would be yesterday's value area high. This yellow line here would be yesterday's point of control. And this green line would be yesterday's value area low. And for this day itself, there is a value area high, there is a point of control, and there is a value area low. Does anyone have any doubts? I'm going to unmute you guys again. Does anyone have any doubts?
Bro, what was the yellow line again?
Which one? There are
This one?
about the
The
fat one.
one? Yeah.
This is the point of control from the previous day. This is yesterday's point of control, and it will act like a reference for the current day's activity.
Okay.
Now, as I told you, the point of control is the region where is the price at which maximum trading activity occurs. So you will
Right.
realize this is what represents fair. This is the price that represents fair value to all buyers and sellers. This yellow line is what it was the price at which the market kind of had some kind of understanding, and this became the fair value for the current day. And as the market was developing real time, the market also it will contract, it will expand, contract. That's how markets work. And and for every day there will be its own developing value, there'll be its own point of control, and there'll be its own developing value area low. So the thin lines essentially are the developing values for the current day, and the thick lines are the yesterday's developing values which terminated to become today's static value. So this would be static value area high, this would be the yesterday's static point of control, and this would be this particular region here would be yesterday's value area low. So you will observe, if you look very carefully, all price action in the market happens about these levels. I also struggled for quite some time wondering ki, oh, there's a moving average, there is this pivot, that pivot. But if you really put your mind to it and you really analyze it, this is actually a whole pattern to which the market will respond. For example, rejected here, took some support here, took some support here, things like that. But all market activity occurs primarily on the market profile, because this is not some thing like a pivot point or some Fibonacci or all these indicators that are derived of some kind of mathematical formula. This is just simply showing you what trading activity is occurring and plotting it out. You have to be the person who has to know how to read price action about this and learn to trade this. In this book also, in this book which I just showed you, Secrets of a Pivot Boss, there is nothing that this person, the author, clearly mentioned. There's nothing about market profile that works or does not work. It is just a very good way to see the markets in a far better way than things like moving average and crossovers and all these other things which we traders keep trying to find. So furthermore, since I realized that all price action is happening about these lines, I decided to first I had to get this into code. So we did that. And then I decided to put some signals. Now, if you see carefully, I'll tell you what the signals are. This you see, look at this candle particular. Look at this candle properly. You see, it had a very long wick and a very small body. Even here, the wick was much longer than the body. So all I did was I put a basic ratio where I want to see that how much of what ratio is the body of the candle to the wick of the candle. So in the indicator settings, I have also included this, and you guys can adjust it based on whatever different on more volatile stocks. You will look for higher ratios than this. On anything that's more volatile, any time frame, you can always tweak this around. It's possible. That's not a problem. So all this indicator plots is basically price action on key levels. So the biggest task was to get the key levels and then to plot the price action about it. Now, again, you cannot just blindly rely on every buy or sell signal you get, because you should say, let's take this case. Okay, the market is here. I will just zoom into my screen. So the market, say in this case, the market took support at this level for a while. It went up, came down, it consolidated quite a bit, but did take support. Now, if it's again going to come down, it's going to keep coming and testing this level. How long do you think this level is going to hold? It's not going to hold all the time, right? So you have to always see the bigger picture. But the objective of the signals is not that you can just blindly buy and sell it. No, if you're going to blindly buy and sell in any kind of trading activity, anywhere you're going to fail miserably. You have to at least have basic understanding of, like OI. For example, today I would have been very, very happy to give this trade. I would have been extremely happy to show this results on my page. All right, I would have been more than thrilled to talk about 100% trade, but this trade in that moment was not the right thing to do, so I did not take it. I will show you. I sent a photo on the groups. Let me just load that also. Okay, so this was the market at the time of the signal. And if I should zoom into this. Now, do you guys see at this level clearly on OI chain, this level is more of a support than a resistance. So the last thing I'm going to want to do right now is to give you a short trade when I can clearly see that people's data is showing that it's more of a long thing. You can see that there are people out here who are willing to support it. Now the market ultimately, if someone decides to start selling off, the whole pattern of the market can change, the whole flow of the market will change. Rationally speaking, I was expecting the market to test this level. I would not have been convinced to short this year. I was not convinced one bit about it. I didn't want to do this. So I thought I'll wait. And you can see the market struggle out here. You can see these big candles. If you look, let me just zoom into this really carefully. Do you see these guys are trying to push it up repetitively? This basically means that there were actually a lot of people who still wanted to push it up. So if the selling pressure would not have come at that point, this thing would have clearly gone through and through. So my job was to to at least see signs that are very clear, and know what trade to take and what trade not to take. After that, the market fell down, it broke through the value area low, and the whole perspective of the market changed after that. I was hoping, maybe it would take some kind of support out here, but at this point there was so much of volume in selling that the whole direction of the market changed. Because if the market would have taken support out here, it was likely the market would have come back. If it had come back, then maybe I could have thought of shorting it out here. But it did make a voluminous breakdown, and the market is not going to move sideways for some time. It's going to start going down. Nonetheless, I did see OI and I did see a lot of rejection here. And then I saw this signal, plus it coincided really well with the pattern. I said, fine. That's why I gave this trade, because it looked worthy of at least taking a quick trade. I got you guys to exit half of the position out here and about half the position out here. And I'm happy I did that, because after that, the market just went into free fall. When the market broke through this level again, it just started. You see, it was very quiet. It was, look at the periodicity of moves out here. Look at it. You know how it formed a pattern. But after that, it just became, up down, up down, up down, up down, up down. You cannot trade this. It's not possible to trade these things. That's why I stopped giving trades after that, and I said don't go long from now, because it's not going to form any kind of real consolidation. It's just going to, keep going down on a very jittery trend. In fact, if you see when the market really, really falls, you will see clean, crisp movement on the fall. For example, you see this one, clean candle.
Zorawar,
Yeah,
just a second. This is a 3 minute candle or a 5 minute
this is
candle?
a 1 minute chart.
Okay, okay.
It's a 1 minute. See, I don't. My objective is not to trade this and buy it here and sell it here. That's not sell it here and buy it here. That's not my objective. I will always look for the bigger picture. I will look at the bigger picture of the whole day, and I will look on the day scale also. What's the perspective to the market? But entering on the 1 minute candle charts really helps you see a story. For example, say look at this case. Now I'll talk about divergence later on in this session. But you see, I saw this. Okay, at this point of time, I remember I was watching the charts that day. I saw this. This indicated the first sign that someone is willing to buy. After that, again, I saw a nice big candle showing that someone is willing to buy. That's why I knew, I discussed with my friend also. I said, this is worthy of taking for a long trade, putting a stop loss here. And sure enough, I mean, this is also quite a good move actually. This was a, how many point? This was a 389 to 414. It's a good move. It was about 25 points. And the value area sunk down below. It took resistance again. You could see people were kind of selling it off out here. And then the market will catch a perspective. After this, I even here, look at this. You can see a lot of rejection here. So this can be convincing enough to take a trade as long as you're aligning with the general direction of the market. All right. Um, Same way in this case. See, this is how you know which signals are good today. You see this one. Don't look at the triangle out here. Just look at the fact that it came down for the first time and someone pushed it up. You can see that huge shadow. Someone pushed it up again. Then it made a little breakdown, but it didn't clearly break below and crack. And again, someone was willing to push it up. And I'll show you divergence later on. You can confirm this. 1 second. This guy's right. So you cannot just blindly take every trade. Now, this trade was fine, which is worthy of taking. But this level has been tested once. You know that Nifty has made a higher low, a higher low, and it's kind of somewhat taking a support in this region. You cannot keep expecting the same level to hold numerous times, especially when the market is this narrow. So you have to always see the bigger picture. But if you typically see, a lot of these grouping around in the same time, it is a good sign. When you see a lot of them forming at the same time, it's a good sign. But I mean, you have to always pay attention to the bigger picture, and you have to put a stop loss on any trading activity you do. So for example, say even in this case, say even if I wanted to take this trade, all right, say even if I wanted to take this trade, I would have put my stop loss out here. That's it. I'm not going to hold through this loss either. So it's a really quick trade, and it's almost like a negligible loss. 1519 and 1511. It's a 10-point loss. It's nothing. And when it pays off, it pays off really well. This one I put on my story also particularly. And if you ask me how I knew I should take this, you see this candle here, nice big rejection. It took support again, and it took support at a relevant level with a really long wick. So it means that someone is willing to buy it up. Now, today, as a day in particular, if you were to see, it was just clearly going down steadily, and it was not forming any kind of waves and patterns and all. And the market somewhat just narrowed into it just narrowed down and started forming a steady band which was going downwards. So when you see the bigger picture, like for example, you see here, like you see it formed this nice big wave, so you can expect something in return too. But if it's just going to move like this, it's not going to go, it's also going to move up the same way like it's moving down, right? That's how market patterns work. So the objective of this course was to tell you about this concept of market profile, There are literally books on this. For those who are interested, I will share the PDF on the groups. You don't even, if you want, you don't even need my signals. You can just, like switch off signals, as I would call it. Yeah, I switched off signals now. Let it just load. And in the books, in that book, he will show you, he will talk about the same thing. He'll talk about understanding the price action, seeing, where the value area opened, whatnot. See, it's a powerful tool. At the end of the day, you have to know how to use it. Now, I does anyone have any doubts? Please ask me. I'm also not feeling too well, so I'm not being able to teach properly today. But I want you guys to get the point before we end this session, not go back feeling clueless. So please ask me if you have any doubts.
I think we can continue, Zora.
All right. Okay. Fine. So I'll come now. What I explained to you, yes, but for those of you who are still new to the markets, who still want to understand further, I will talk about this whole concept of divergence by displaying this indicator. Now, this indicator isn't mine. It's been there on TradingView forever. What am I searching for? Here we go. This is actually RSI only. This whole chart is RSI. It's just that they've made some bear and bull. They've tried to make some patterns on it. But I'll teach you how this works. So in that book also you will read the same thing. The market is an auction process which will always overextend itself in a direction to confirm that there is no business happening on that end before it will want to reverse again. I'm not the one saying this. There are books on this. It's in fact it's clearly mentioned in the book. I will share the PDF later today. So you have to realize that every time the market takes a reversal, for example, let's take this case. Okay. The market is not going to come back to here and start going up again. It will want to somewhat test this level and confirm it before it will want to take a reversal in any direction. Even in this case, made a high, made another high, it made a similar high, but a much weaker one in terms of divergence. And there was not enough volume. People were not pushing it up. And the market said, okay, यहाँ नहीं जाएगा, ये नीचे जाएगा. So the market changed direction. Same way, let's look at this one. Okay. You see, it came lower. It made another lower low. But I'll talk about the divergence aspect of it in a while. But it will always test that level a second time. Only then will market participants feel, okay, now it's time for it to take a U-turn. So you will see even here, you see this candle, it has a nice long body here, like a very long wick compared to the body. So this shows you how that the market will always want to confirm the move in the opposite direction before momentarily changing direction. If this in fact even applies to Nifty on the 1-day scale. Okay, now don't ignore, just ignore the signals on this because this is it's not meant for 1 day. In fact, I'll just switch this off. You see how the market will always try and push itself further ahead before it will try and take a reversal. Even in this case, pushed itself further ahead before taking a reversal. Now, how do you know that in that moment, how do you know, is it going to stop here? Is it going to go up? Even in this case, how would anyone have known, is it going to stop here? Is it going to go up? So this is where a tool comes in called divergence. So divergence essentially works on the concept that if the market is testing a level for a second time, that is, say it went from A to B, it tested that level, and then at B, it will obviously want to confirm that level once. Now, there are two possible outcomes. It will again go up, consolidate, and break upwards, or it will go up, consolidate, and come back downwards, taking a reversal. How you kind of get a cue about this is by seeing the volumes that go into this process. So, if the volumes that went into a second upward climb are less, it means lesser people are willing to buy this thing any further and go bullish on it even more. That's when you know that now the market is likely going to want to reverse itself out. So this applies on the 1-day scale, it applies on the 5-minute chart. It um, okay, guys, this meeting will end in 10 minutes. I'll just resend a link. Just please join in again. That's all. So
Yep.
this will work on the 1 day scale because it's all about price and volume. If you're seeing the price is extending further upwards or downwards, but you are seeing that there is no volume in it, it's very likely no one's willing to push it further. It's just going to reverse from there. So this is where this divergence indicator comes in. It kind of visually lets you see the same thing by understanding the price action about it. So look at this carefully, okay? Nifty was here and compared to the divergence out here. All right. Now, Nifty actually went higher. Okay, it kind of extended itself upwards, but the divergence value was significantly lower. This made it likely for the market to fall down. Now, I remember at this point that whole budget rally nonsense happened, and again this bull run started, and I was really frustrated why this is happening because this is baseless. So the market tried to make some peaks. It made some peaks with lower and lower volumes, but clearly you will see here the divergence value is 1 second. Oh, okay. You can clearly see how the divergence value at this point is significantly lower than the divergence value at this point, but the price is significantly higher than the price at this point. So the market, this is when you kind of start getting cues that the market's going to fall. So when I saw this, when I saw OI chain, I saw that there were people sitting with like I remember I mentioned this. I think you guys have seen it also. I mentioned that Nifty is going to fall till 15,200. I mentioned this about 4 5 days ago, and that's because I didn't just see this. You can't just blindly rely on something like this. But I saw OI showing that there were a lot of bears sitting quietly at one level for really long. And if the market is running 200 points up, but this is one particular large, sizable bearish position, even to the market is just gunning upwards, it makes you really think. So when you see something like that, you see a cue of divergence also showing you, yeah, it is just extending, it has just overextended itself now for no reason. That's when you start getting cues on the market. Same way today also, I saw on OI, I saw that 15.7. Yesterday I mentioned this on the groups. I saw that 14.700 particularly as who's calling me. 14.700 in particular had a very large bearish position built up out there. And you may ask yourself, like, why is this happening? So I thought I'll zoom into the charts and see. And you see there's a gap. The market loves filling gaps. It will always want to fill up a gap to confirm that yes, this was a genuine movement. The market will always confirm its movements. It's not going to go in any way in a straight line, upwards, downwards, and just form these V patterns or A patterns. It's going to go form a top, then it's going to form a double top before it confirms. And this works on any time frame and any time scale. You just have to understand the price behind it, and you have to understand the volumes behind it. So this now I showed to you on a 1 day scale, but this will work on a 1 minute chart. It will work on a 3 minute chart. As long as you can really pay attention to the markets, you will know what signals to take and you will know simply what signals not to take. So I'll come to this whole thing of divergence now. So let's look at this trade. Um, I remember this one. This was a good one. Right. Do you see how the market at this point, at this consolidation, you can't just randomly take any point, but I did see people wanting to kind of push this thing upwards. So you observe now the divergence value at this point was basically 30. Can you see it at the bottom of my screen in pink here in this region, right? So this is 30, but the market tested that same level again at about 10 points higher than that, and this thing works only on a scale of 1 to 100. So I could clearly see how the divergence out here is much higher than the divergence out here, which made me somewhat confident to think, okay, the market's going to reverse. And yes, on OI, this was a very big support, which did not change. Same way, now it's a different thing that no signal fired because we're looking at candles for this case, apart from just this one out here. But do you observe how at this value, the divergence is about 65, 66, okay? and it made the same peak again, but this time about 5 to 6 points lower. And even though the market was somewhat holding level, this thing was falling really steeply. So it was making it more and more likely for the market to be deciding to change direction and go down. Let's talk about this case. Now observe this. You see out here, I'll just increase the size of my chart. So the divergence value at this peak was about 81 or something. And the divergence value out here was 66. There is a huge gap between divergence, even though the market has extended itself. This is what will help you finding out key reversals. So once you get a signal, once you see divergence, let's look at this case also. Okay. So it made this kind of bottom. When it came down again, it made this bottom. After that, it again extended itself, but clearly there was a large difference between divergence out here and divergence out here. So you can start thinking that the market may now have a bullish perspective for a while. Yeah. Now let's come to these signals that fired too. So, it formed a low, another low. It formed this low. After that, this thing started steadily climbing upwards. And when it took support, I felt that this was worthy because it had confirmed the support out here. It has been hanging out in this region for too long. Now it's probably going to want to extend itself forwards. So if I find a relevant support signal, I would take it. And I remember I had given this trade to you guys in the group. I was convinced about the market taking support resistance at least once for the first time at least. And I remember you guys made about 11% on this trade. I had given this in the groups. And then I said these buy signals have come. So I got you guys out of this. Now I didn't give the next of the signals because I wanted to give that whole course and get everyone on the indicator before I start, telling you, okay, you can buy this or whatnot. You can buy this particular signal like this. You could have bought this trade. You could have bought the future or the option or whatever you would like to choose. And again, this moved up really well. Also, please notice how this level has acted like a resistance once. It's not going to act like a resistance numerous times. So that's why I did not give the short trade on the group. I didn't give this one because I knew it has taken resistance again. It took support on a higher level and is taking resistance at the same level multiple times, and people are pushing it up. So it's just not worthy of taking the trade. So I finished this at the day and I will let it go out there. So I want to also show you that this thing will work on a variety of scripts. It'll work on stocks. It'll work on, one second. Hold on. Okay, this is I think how it worked on Reliance today. Bearish day, of course, but nonetheless, most of the signals did move favorably well. Like this itself was about a 10-point move. That's like just like 0.5% on Reliance. Okay, one second. It took support here, resistance, resistance. You will see this is fairly accurate. You have to just learn to see the bigger picture while trading it. It's not a leave your brain at home and trade type tool. It's a tool where you have to really understand the price action and see the bigger picture on the market, and you have to confirm this divergence confirmation is the best thing. Trust me, this is the best way to see when you see that the market is clearly stretching lower, but you see the divergence is clearly higher and higher. You will understand that yeah, okay, it's probably going to take support now for a while. And of course, once you confirm this with OI, the trade becomes good. Let's talk about this trade. Okay, so you see how at this high the divergence was here, and at this point the divergence is here. At this point, almost to the same level, the divergence is much more. This is about at least 10 points apart on the chart. But you can clearly just visualize this and see how it's resisting and the divergence are continuously plotting lower and lower. So the market is likely going to now take a short outlook towards it. In this case, you can clearly observe